God called me to be, I'm not walking in that. You're not helping me to walk in that fullness. And so maybe this is not what God has called us to do together.
Like, I don't want to be with somebody that every single time they leave the house, I'm just stressing, worried, sweating bullets. What are they doing? Like, the person that God has for you, you really shouldn't feel that way.
No.
A double-minded man is unstable in all his ways.
Come on.
If we're talking about a man of God, and I guess I'm getting on the men here. If we're talking about a man of God, he's going to know what he wants, and he's going to pursue it.
It took for God to hurt me really, really bad. Rip the Band-Aid off for me to finally leave that situation. Take it from me. Don't let God do it. Do it willingly.
Welcome to another episode of the Let Me Get This Right podcast. My name is Brandon.
And I'm Naisha.
And we are back with another episode. Excited to be back. It feels like we haven't recorded in quite a while.
Ever.
Yeah, I'm glad. I appreciate you guys' patience. We did go live a week or so ago, and a lot of you guys joined us for that, asked some awesome questions. So we had a wonderful time with you guys. That was awesome. We're definitely going to have to do that again. So thank you for that. Want to thank you guys for continuing to check out the channel, view our content. Pray that it continues to be a blessing to you guys. We love the growth that we've seen. And yeah, if you haven't done so already, make sure you hit that subscribe button, because there's a lot of you who are watching and are not subscried. We appreciate you watching.
Yes.
But we ain't gonna charge you no kind of money. But the only thing we gonna ask, just hit that subscribe button. That's it. It don't cost you nothing. Hit that subscribe button and hit the notification bell so you get notified when we do go live, so you can join us next time.
And if you know someone who may be blessed from our content, definitely share it with whoever you feel like could use the insight that we have to share. So
Absolutely. Okay. Well, we're going to keep this thing going. We got a good topic today, so we're going to go ahead and get into it. Today, we're going to be talking about 3 signs that it may be time to move on. A lot of times, I know we can get stuck in relationships, and if it's not the right relationship for you, if it's not the right person for you, you got to know, when it's time to cut that thing off and move on to what God has for you. The last thing you want to do in life is waste a lot of your good years in the wrong situation. We both, I think, have fell victim to that. So that's why we thought it would be a good topic. So yeah, that's what we're talking about. And babe, I'm going to kick it to you.
per usual. Yeah, no, I think this is a really, really good topic to dive into, because many of us, we miss our seasons by staying in a season for too long. That includes relationships. Yeah. And so, as my husband stated, we have both been there. I have been there, my husband's been there, and I'm sure many of you are probably there or may have gone through a situation where you were just in a relationship. Maybe it was because of the kids, maybe it's because you felt obligated, maybe because you just wanted to see it work. But we are here to kind of just shed some light on signs to maybe recognize when you might be up, your season in that relationship might be up, because once again, you don't want to come to a point where you are missing the time where you could be preparing yourself for your actual person, because all that is just delay of what God actually has for you. So we kind of want to tackle that, jump into some tips on how to kind of maneuver out of that. And so the first thing that we want to go ahead and kind of one of the first signs that it's time to maybe move on from this relationship is you keep losing yourself to keep this relationship. And so what that looks like is you consistently compromise your values, your peace, your boundaries. That's a big one. Your identity, just to make this relationship work. Love requires sacrifice, but it shouldn't require you to abandon who God has created you to be. So that's a really good one. I found myself doing this where I just wanted to keep the relationship. So I compromised my feelings, my worth, things that I said I would not do or tolerate anymore from this person. I tolerated just to try to make that relationship work because I kind of saw, the potential in something that could have been, but not necessarily was. So for me, this is very relatable. But yeah, I think that's a big one, babe.
Yeah. And we've talked about it in other videos. You have to have look, most of our audience is not like teenagers or anything like that, right? So, we're grown adults. At this point, at this big age, you should have your moral compass in place. You should have your values, your belief system, which is based on the word of God. You should have that in place.
Yeah.
So if you get in a relationship with somebody and those values, your moral compass, what you stand for is constantly being compromised, constantly being challenged. You're constantly in a position where you feel like you're having to compromise what you are and who you are and what you stand for to satisfy this other person. That's a sign that maybe you're in a relationship that you may want to start planning an exit strategy, especially if it's been going on for a long time. If you're compromising who you feel like you are and you're telling this person and nothing is changing, it might be time to make that change. So last thing you want to do is and to be clear, there is a level of sacrifice that comes with being in a relationship with someone, especially when you get into marriage, but we're not even at the marriage stage yet. So there is a certain level of sacrifice that comes with being in just a relationship with another human being.
Right.
There are some things. We're not saying that any preference that you have, if you ever have to sacrifice your convenience or anything, like, no, we're not saying that.
Yeah.
We're saying if your stance is, I'm not going to have premarital sex, and that person is constantly challenging that, these are the things that we're talking about. If your religion, if your relationship with God is important to you, and your time in prayer is important to you, and this person is compromising that, and you've made them aware, hey, I usually spend more time with God ever since we talking. I ain't really been getting that time in with God. Maybe we need to cut back on some of our time so that I can make sure that I'm good. And they're not, along with that, they're not aligned with you in that. Then it's something that maybe you're in a relationship that it's time to start thinking about planning an exit strategy.
That's so good. Yeah. If that person is allowing you to compromise the call that God has placed on you and the both of you, then it's something that you definitely need to take into consideration that, hey, I know who God called me to be. I'm not walking in that. You're not helping me to walk in that fullness. And so maybe this is not what God has called us to do together. So that's really good, babe.
For sure. That's so major. I'm sorry. I'm glad you touched on that. Yeah. If you, again, at our age, you should be, if you haven't already, you should be seeking God as far as what his plan for you, what his purpose for you is.
Yeah.
If they're not aligned with that purpose, if the relationship with them does not allow, if it doesn't enhance, I'm going to be honest with you. If you are going to be yoked up with somebody, I feel like their purpose, it doesn't have to be your exact purpose, exact same purpose, but it should complement. Y'all's purposes and calling should complement each other. And if it doesn't, it's something that, you know what I mean? Like, I just feel like the person that God has for you, God's best for you, it's going to complement. Their calling is going to complement your calling. And my God, please let them have a calling. If they don't know what God's plan is for their life, they just going along, through life just like a tree in the wind, blowing to and fro, then that's somebody that you might need to get away from anyway. But hopefully, number one, they have a calling. And number two, that calling should complement yours. Again, I want to be clear. I'm not saying it needs to be the exact same calling, but it needs to complement.
Yeah,
so
that's so good.
Yeah, don't let anyone take you away from your calling.
Good, y'all.
Sure.
We're gonna move on, but I just want to add to what he said.
Yeah.
Even if they don't, even if, for example, you're not walking in your calling and you're not walking in your calling, that person should recognize that and say, look,
my God,
I see, not too long ago, Babe and I had this
Mm-hmm.
conversation. He was like, I see what's inside of you. I know what God has put on your life. Let's go ahead and get that out again, because like I know the calling on your life, and I and it's like I've been knowing, and I've been like I got to get back to that. But he was like, all right, babe, come on, it's time to get back to where God has called you. So that person is not pulling you and activating that calling inside of you, even if you're not. Go ahead on and move on. So
That's so good. I
that's
want to
so
add.
good.
We're gonna go on to the next
We're
one.
gonna move on. That's so
That's
good.
so important though. Okay. The second point, the relationship consistently produces confusion instead of peace. Whew, yeah. Um, if you are in a relationship and you've been in that relationship for a long time and it's just constant confusion, there's constant anxiety, there's constant, struggle and back and forth and arguments. You guys are just not aligned. God, I mean, you're gonna have seasons in a relationship where you guys don't, you're not always on the best of terms. You're gonna have things that you don't always agree with 100%. We're not talking about that. We're talking about it's just constantly just arguing, bickering, back and forth, confusion. He wants to do this, you want to do that, you want to do this, he wants to. It's if there's constant confusion and anxiety and disagreement, sometimes we hold on to stuff, just because, for a number of reasons.
That's so good.
And again, we've been there, it could be for kids. It could be, because this is the only person you've ever been with. It could be a number of different reasons. But if it's just constant confusion, if it's constant arguing, constant bickering, mistrust, you can't trust him, he can't trust you. You always got to be checking every single, like that's exhausting.
Very
Like I don't want to be with somebody that every single time they leave the house, I'm just stressing, worried, sweating bullets. What are they doing? Like, if the person that God has for you, you really shouldn't feel that way.
No.
Like you really should have confidence that this person is doing the right thing. This person really loves you. This person really cares about you. If you're constantly worried about what they're doing and who they're talking to and you guys just aren't on that same page and it's been a long time with you in that relationship, let yourself go. Free yourself from that. Like that, it's not worth it. And the person that God has for you, you're not going to have to stress about that all the time. You're not going to have any question about how they feel about you. They're going to be able to articulate how they feel about you. They're going to be able to reassure you. And you guys are just going to be aligned on a lot of things. Of course, you'll have, one-offs here and there that you don't agree on, but you come together in prayer and you figure it out. But if there's just constant confusion, constant bickering back and forth, and just an air of just mistrust, it's time to move on.
That's so good, babe. That is so good. 1 Corinthians 14:33 states that for God is not the author of confusion, but of
Yep.
peace. So if that person is bringing you all types of confusion, if he's bringing you all types of, disrespect and just, a lot of the things that that you shouldn't be tolerating, and, they just can't give you that certainty. Like my husband said, they walk out the door. You don't know where they're going. You don't know who they're going to be with. It's just a lot of that confusion back and forth. They don't know whether or not y'all are going to get married, or if you're going to, or if you're still boyfriend and
Speak on
girlfriend
it.
after
Speak on
500
it.
years. Okay. So Lord, if just pray this prayer, if it's not from me, you Lord, take it away. Okay. At that point, you need to ask God to just rip you from that stronghold. Because if this is a repeated cycle, it's at this point is a stronghold, and maybe it's something that you need deliverance from. So,
If that man has not within, I'm gonna give some grace. I'm gonna say within the first year, and I feel like that's being generous if
It
we're
is.
talking about a man of God. if he hasn't made it abundantly clear what his intentions are with you, that he wants to pursue you as potentially his wife, if he hasn't made those things clear in the first year and he's just stringing you along, cut it off.
Cut it off.
Cut it off. God's not the author of confusion. A double-minded man is unstable in all his ways.
Come on.
If we're talking about a man of God, and I guess I'm getting on the men here. If we're talking about a man of God, he's going to know what he wants and he's going to pursue it. And it doesn't take forever. I'm not even saying it got to be as quick as ours. Like it took us 5 months. Listen, I know what I want.
He knows what he wants.
I saw it, and when I tell you, it will no doubt. I just, you know what I mean? So a man of God is going to make up his mind. He's not going to go dilly-dallying and wavering all over the place. Like, he's going to make up his mind. He's going to seek God. He's going to make up his mind, and he's going to be very clear to you that, hey, I'm interested in you. I'm not saying that, you are my wife at this point, but I'm interested in pursuing you and seeing if that's where it takes us. But that's the end goal.
Yep.
Like, I'm not just dating out here casually. I'm not just trying to have an experience. I'm not just trying to have a good time. I want to pursue you, in relation to you being my wife. So I'll say it again. And we read the scripture, 1 Corinthians, what is it,
14:33.
14:33.
Yeah.
God is not the author of confusion. If he hasn't made it clear and you're just kind of drifting along, you're not sure what you guys are. Are we friends? Are we boyfriend, girlfriend? Are we thinking about marriage? How long, is it going to be? Start asking questions. Start asking those questions. You don't have time to wait. Don't let no man waste your time, the best years of your life, holding on to what could possibly be. And then he decides, oh, yeah, no, this isn't, I wasn't even that serious. You should have asked me. I done wasted 4 or 5 years thinking that you're going to propose to me. And now you've wasted 4 or 5 years. That's time that you could have been operating in purpose. That's been who knows how many men of God have come wanting to be able to talk to you, but they checked your Facebook page, your Instagram page, and you still boot up with a dude who's not even really that serious about you. Don't waste your time. Okay.
So good.
A man of God for you is going to make it clear what his intentions are. And if he's not, you need to get up out of that situation.
Mic drop. Babe, that was so good. That was so good. But I just want to add.
Yeah.
Bringing back to base, like we had the video we made, I think 2 videos ago, where you made a statement that like, why buy the cow if he's getting the milk for free? You might need to look at yourself too. What are you giving him? Have you already given this man babies? Are you giving him, the goods? Are you giving him the wifely? Are you holding that, giving those assignments and, giving him the treatment of a wife? But you're not yet a official wife, then you might want to analyze your decisions as well, because why would he move and act on it if he is getting everything that he needs? But yeah, more importantly, if he's not making a decision, again, if double-minded man is unstable in all of his ways, then you need to take a step back, get away from that situation, and let him seek God and get clarity and get direction on what he wants, because he's, again, confused, and he's causing confusion and bringing confusion. So that you need to kind of look at and just kind of run as quickly as you can.
Yeah. Okay.
That's so good. And the last point, because we've been going on a tangent, babe.
Right.
But these are so good because, again, I've been there. I know how. Like, I wish I would have had a video like this when I was in that stronghold for 10 years. Like, literally way too long. And don't get me wrong. I'm going to move to the third point here in a second. God is he's a restorer. Can we hashtag restore 2026?
Come on.
But he's not going to move unless you move. So if you're staying in that relationship for too long, yes, he's a restorer. Yes, according to Joel 2:25, he's going to restore those years back to you swiftly. But you have to make a decision, and you have to do it quickly, or he's going to pass you by and he's going to make you wait a little bit longer. Because guess what? Now, not only have you delayed the promise, now you got to be healed.
Yep.
So that's why it took me 4 years.
Yeah.
Because I stayed in a situation for too long that was not even remotely ordained by God. It was sent by the devil.
Oh my God.
But I had to sit in that for 4 years, and God had to take me through some refining.
Yeah.
But he got me there. So there's hope.
Okay.
Number 3. You've addressed the same problems, but there is no willingness to change. There's a difference between struggling and refusing to grow.
Okay.
So if you've communicated your concerns and you've established those boundaries and you offered opportunities of reconciliation, but there's still no change, that's grounds for you to go ahead on and move on. Like, why would they change if, they keep feeding you the same lies? I'm going to change. It's going to change. We're going to get married. We're going to get a house. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. But if you continue to settle for it and not raise those boundaries and those standards, right? The Bible says that you are more precious than rubies, but yet you having this man treat you like coal.
Come on.
Like, why would you sit there and continue to, all right, he's going to change, he's going to change, he's going to change, romanticizing the fact that you see what this could be, or maybe you're comparing, right? You're in a season of covetousness. You're over here coveting after someone else's relationship, and maybe mine could look like this someday, and I see the potential in him, and you want this to be the relationship that you prayed for so bad, but it's not, because there's no change. And he's not going to change. You can't change that man or woman, in that, whatever the case may be. Only God can. So stop hoping and romanticizing what could have been, what should have been, what it can be, and realize that, okay, this is deeper than me. I need to move on, and I need to go ahead and start seeking God on what steps to take. And so,
for sure.
Yeah.
You can't change someone. You can't change someone. I'll leave it at that. You can't change someone. Only God, can change somebody. So if you're in a relationship and there are issues, there are, strongholds, if there are obstacles that are creating problems for the relationship, and you've addressed them and you've made it known, and they're not changing, don't stay in the relationship thinking, oh, I can change him. Maybe when we get married, this problem will change. I've addressed it. It's not changing so far, but maybe when we get married, it's going to change. It's not going to change.
No.
It's not going to change. So, you really just have to analyze the situation, pray about it. Again, like we've talked about with the other points, you don't want to sit in a relationship and waste a whole lot of time dealing with the same stuff. Like, I can promise you, a person, 9 times out of 10, a person they are who they are.
Yeah.
I know, you have this, you're viewing them through what the old people call it, rose-colored glasses. You see the best in them. You see the potential of what they could be. You know that if he could just shake this habit, he could be the man of God that you need him to be. That, if she could just, get her spending in check, she would be the the woman of God that you need in your life.
Shade.
I wouldn't go say anything, but no, yeah, you can't change this person. So either you have to decide that that's something that you can deal with, or if it's not, then you gotta look at getting out of that situation. Yeah,
That's so good.
I mean,
Cooking.
yeah. So I mean, you alluded to it just now. Like, for example, the spending. I knew you like to spend. before we got married. And listen, we had these conversations.
We did.
Go back to the video about asking the right questions. You told me. And so at that point, I have to decide, hey, you know, is this something that, I can deal with? Or is this like a deal breaker? For some guys, it would be a deal breaker. It would. For me, it was like, okay.
But I don't think I'm that bad. Like, there's women who could do a lot more damage than I do.
That's true.
Yeah.
I just listen, I'm cheap, y'all. So
You're not cheap. He's not cheap. He's cheap on certain things. And I am too. Like, we spend money on what we want to spend money on.
That's true.
Like, I could go spend money on household stuff and home decor. And he can spend money on food. Like, he done spent money on us when we go out to eat.
That's true.
And I'll look at the receipt like, that's a lot of money. But then I'll go out there and be like, that's $2,000 couch cheap.
Right.
It's just, you pick and choose what you like to spend money on.
Right.
So he's not cheap. He has very expensive tastes, especially when it comes to food. But yeah, I think
the point being, we got on the point being, you have to decide, again, and he goes back to the first point, what your morals are, what your moral compass is, what your values are, what is important to you. And if it's something that, that's an issue for them and it doesn't align with your morals and your values and you've brought it up and they're not changing, you can't change a person.
Yeah.
You can't change a person.
No, you can't. Only God can.
Yeah.
So allow that to be your breaking point. Like, all right, and this is the same repeated cycle time and time again. At this point, I need something higher than myself because I'm not God. A lot of the times we try to play God.
Right.
But you're not God.
No.
Okay? So especially when it comes to men, like, the only person that can change your heart is God. Okay? Especially when they're set in their ways.
Sure.
So, anyway. That's good, babe. So, we do want to go ahead and just leave you guys with some practical tips on how to start maneuvering out of that season that you've been in for too long, okay? Just a couple of tips. So go ahead and start creating distance so that your heart can start to heal. You're always up underneath that person. You're always checking up on that person. Even when y'all take a break, you're on their social media. You're stalking their every move. You can't stop thinking about him. You're dreaming about him. You call him every 5 seconds. They at the coffee shop. Somehow you got to the coffee shop. They're at the mall. Somehow you showed up at the mall. I think that's stalkerish at that point. But the point is, you need to take time away from that person. Separate. If he's living in your house, tell him to leave. If y'all living together, you go to your mom's house or tell him to go to somebody's house and y'all take time apart. Start the process so that your heart can heal. Create that space and that distance so that you can clearly hear from God and go ahead and start ending that season.
Yeah. If you're at the point where it's like, okay, I might need to make that separation, you have to create that space. You're not going to be able to continue to hear from God. You're not going to be able to hear the voice of the Spirit if you're up under that person. Because if you're up under them, you're going to be smelling their cologne. They're going to be smelling good. God forbid y'all are engaging in activities that you ain't had no business engaging in the first place. Listen, go ahead and create that separation. Stop hanging around them. I don't care, and it's going to be uncomfortable at first because you're used to being in a relationship with that person. Even if it's toxic, even if it's unhealthy, you're still comfortable in that. So go ahead and create that separation, and it's going to feel uncomfortable. It's going to feel uncomfortable. That doesn't mean you're making the wrong decision. That doesn't mean you need to go back around them. Don't go back over to their house a late night, 10, 11 o'clock, because you're feeling lonely and you sitting on the couch, in the bonnet with the cheese puffs. And you're like, I need somebody, you know what I'm saying? I need some love. Don't go over to his house.
Right.
Don't do it. That's the worst thing you can do.
Right.
Because then you're going to be real confused.
Yeah. That's so good, babe. That is so good. Do it before God does it. Because when he does it, it's going to hurt real bad. It's going to hurt real bad.
Yeah.
So do it before he does. um, and ask God to deliver you. Because, like I said, it's a stronghold.
Yeah.
It's a soul tie. You have covenanted yourself with this person, especially if y'all are engaging in sexual activities. You're a covenant with this person spiritually. So that's going to take deliverance. I've been there. And I don't know how many times I can stress this. It took for God to hurt me really, really bad. Rip the Band-Aid off for me to finally leave that situation. Take it from me. Don't let God do it. Do it willingly.
You ain't even have to come to all of that. You could have just left it alone. You could have just said, my husband Brandon is waiting on me about 4 or 5 years from now, and I'm just going to go ahead and leave because I know that man of God is coming, and he's going to be greater than anything that was before.
That's true. But the man of God was also tied up. So we had...
Hold on. We're not worried about all that. We talk about you right now.
He was not even available. So God had to take me. He had to do that. He had to take me through that season. I had to go through it and learn the lessons. But when it's time, and God's like, you holding this up, girl, boy, right. Guy, whatever. You holding up what I have for you. He gonna rip it off, and it's gonna hurt.
Yeah, for sure. Okay.
And this is the last thing I want to say, babe.
Oh.
Because I always forget good stuff.
Cook.
This is the last thing I want to say. Yes, like you just said, when they leave, it's going to hurt, but don't get confused thinking that you need that person. Mm-hmm. How you really know is the moment that person come around you, you start, your spirit start getting irritated. Something deep down inside of you is like disturbed. Mm-hmm. That's how I knew, like, this is a demon. Mm. Like, I was in rebellion, but the spirit was still speaking. Mm-hmm. Like the spirit was still like, every time he would come around, it was like I was like agitated, and I'm like, what? You know. So that might be a sign right there. If that person comes around you and you get agitated all of a sudden, or it's like, oh God, like that's exactly how I felt. Like every time I knew he was on the way, I would be like, Lord, here we go with some drama. But I stayed because it was a stronghold. Yeah.
Okay.
Last point, babe.
Last point. You got to give that relationship back to God.
Yeah.
All right. You may have to pray that prayer. Hey, God, if this is not the person for me, God, I want to be in your perfect will for my life.
Yeah.
God, I want what you have for me. I want your best for me. Mm-hmm. If this is not that, and I don't feel like it is, remove the situation. And sometimes he will. Sometimes he's going to say, okay, leave. Mm-hmm.
And you don't want me to do it.
Exactly. Exactly. and to go back to what you were saying, yeah, he's probably going to tell you, okay, I've been trying to tell you to leave. Go ahead and leave. If you don't, I'm going to take it away from you because you're my daughter. You're my son. I don't want you to be stuck in something like that. And so I'm going to take it away, and it's going to be painful when I do it. So give it to God, seek God, and ask him to handle the situation. If he tells you to release it, pray that he'll give you the strength to release it. Because like I said, listen, we're being 100% honest. It's not going to be the easiest thing in the world, especially if you've been in that relationship for a long time. We've both been in long relationships and had to get out of the situation. It's not going to be easy. No. So pray that God will give you the strength to leave it. Mm-hmm. And he will. He will give you the strength. He will sustain you. He will keep you. So that's pretty much it, babe. If you had something to add to that.
Yeah. Yeah, no. That's it. Just understand that when you finally move on in your heart, you might have made it up in your mind, but your heart has to make that choice too. It's not admitting that you never loved that person, because you might have really loved that person. Y'all might have had that connection, and that bond, whatever means that might be. But you just have to accept the fact that love is just not enough to sustain a healthy relationship. That is aligned with God's will. So just understand that in due time, if it is eventually meant, God will make it happen in his timing, but he probably has to do something in the both of you. But if not, allow God to permanently remove them from your heart, and take that time to just get back to God. And in his perfect timing, he will make it happen swiftly. So that's it.
All right. Well, I think that's it for this episode. I hope this was a blessing to you guys.
Yes.
Again, we're talking from experience, so hopefully you can kind of glean from our experience and what we went through, and not have to go through some of the same things. Hopefully, if you're in a relationship that you ain't got no business being in, it's not fruitful, it's taking you away from your relationship with God, you've addressed issues and concerns and nothing is changing. Hopefully you can go ahead and come up with an exit strategy. Seek God, ask that he will give you the strength, and he will, to get up and leave that situation. Don't sit there in a situation that you don't need to be, that's not serving you and your relationship with God.
So
Do not sit in a relationship, I'm going to say it again, and in a relationship that doesn't serve you or your relationship and your purpose with God. There's nothing more valuable that we have than time. So you don't want to waste that. If it's time to get up out of it, get up out of it, because God has better for you. He has better for you. So
come on.
just felt like I needed to say that. If you guys enjoyed this episode, if it was a blessing to you.
You do not want covenant, you want convenience.
There you go.
Anyway,
hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you can be notified. We're going to start going live a little bit more often. That was a good time. I enjoyed it. So we're going to hang out with you guys and go live, answer questions that you guys may have. Yeah, I think that's it. Baby, got anything?
I don't. You heard them.
All right. All right. Well, we'll see you guys next time, and stay tuned for more episodes.
Bye.